we're continuing right now. We're continuing to talk about what's called zero slope versus undefined slope. Anytime you guys see a vertical line going straight up and down, that's considered to be undefined. Anytime you see a flat line right here, that's considered to be zero. So as we go through these, understand we're looking at the different types of slopes. Alright, so right now we have three different lines. We have a blue line going across right here. We have a blue line going across right here, and we have a blue line going straight up and down. Can you guys tell me about these two lines? What kind of slope do they both have? Zero. So you're going to write they both have a slope of zero. Which means this line right here has what type of slope? Say that again. Undefined. The undefined. It's vertical. Now what I'd like you guys to do in the graphing calculator, so you guys understand, it says write an equation that goes with it. You'll understand why I'm telling you. Alright? So if y equals, type in a 0 for y equals. Hit graph. So you see. More specifically, where is it drawing from? Okay, what do we call this right here?
Origin.
No.
The x-axis.
Yes, that's the x-axis. So understand, whenever I say y equals 0, I'm actually referring to the x-axis. If I were to draw a vertical line right there, what is my x value right there? What's my x value right there? Nope. What's my x value? Nope. What is it? 0. What's my x value right here? What's my x value right there? 0. This right here is the line known as x equals 0. But we call it the y-axis. This is the y-axis. This is the x-axis. But what is y always equal to on the x-axis? It's always equal to 0. What are x values always equal to on the y-axis? 0. So if I were to say, if I were to draw a line right there going vertical, what are the x values? Here, 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 all going all the way down. What are the x values? Every single point. Nope. What are my x values always equal to?
-4.
Yes. So x equals -4. Vertical lines will always be, when you see a vertical line, it's something you might want to write down in your journal. When you see a vertical line, you're always going to have an x equals a number. Whenever you see a horizontal line, right here, you're going to have y equals a number. So if you see a horizontal, which has a 0 slope, it's going to be y equals a number. Vertical is always x equals a number. Alright, so let's test our abilities here. I'm going to hit y equals, I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to type in y equals a -2. And you should see a graph of a line right here. Horizontal line, y equals -2. Okay? If I hit y equals and I type in a +3, what should you see? Horizontal line right there on a +3. Okay? So that's the concept that we're talking about. So if we go back and look at our problems right here. Where does this hit right here? Where does that hit the y-axis at 0 what? 0, -3. So what is our equation going to be? That's right, y equals -3. Because all of my y values are -3. Very good. What's my y-intercept right here? Where am I at? Right there at that point. 0 and a +2. So what's this equation going to be? Y equals 2. Perfect. Now, nope.
-3, 0.
No, okay, yes, that's the point. That's the point. -3, 0. But that's not the y-intercept. That's the, this is called an x-intercept. So what would this equation be? equals -3. That's your answer right there. Okay? Understand, you're either going to have a y equals or an x equals. Y equals will always be horizontal. Hey, Morse code man, slow down. X equals is always going to be vertical. So when you guys see lines, you see a horizontal line, you're going to say y equals. And what, by the way, remember, this slope is a slope of 0. This is called an undefined slope. So now, it's pretty easy when you have pictures. You can see that's a slope of 0. You can see that's a slope of 0. You can see that's vertical, that's undefined. It has pictures, right? What's harder? What's harder is when you don't have pictures, but you just have word problems. Okay? So number 3, it says, what is the equation of the line that passes through this point and it has a slope of 0? And the other one says, what is the equation of the line that passes through -4, 5 and has an undefined slope? So I want you guys to right now come up with 2 equations that you think meets a condition that it passes through this point and it has a slope of 0. This one, it passes through this point and has an undefined slope. Just remember, it's either going to be x equals or it's going to be y equals. So choose wisely. I'm going to pause the video. All right, so hopefully you guys have the answers. What is the equation of the line that passes through this point? By the way, what does that -2 represent? Which coordinate? Yeah, that's your x coordinate, right? And what does the 7 represent? The y coordinate. Now this one says has a slope of 0. So if we go back, which ones have slopes of 0? X equals or y equals? Y equals. So I know automatically, oh, this is one that has a y equals a number. Okay, y equals a number. Now, all I have to do now that I know it's a y equals, because a 0 slope is what type of slope? It's something that is horizontal, right? So 0 slope is horizontal. Now, y equals something. So let's go over here. Let's look at our ordered pair. What is our y value equal to? That's why your answer is y equals 7. Okay? So let me hopefully you guys understand right here. I'm going to go here, I'm going to hit y equals 7. Hit y equals 7. Now this time I'm actually going to hit zoom 6. Zoom 6 is a standard zoom, and standard zoom should be able to see it. So way up here, that is at a y equals a, this is at y equals 7. All the way across, y is equal to 7. And what was our ordered pair? -2, 7. -2, 7. So this point right here is at a -2 and a 7. So does this line pass through that point? Is it horizontal and have a slope of 0? Yes, that's your answer. Alright, so now I'm going to go down to this one. Now this one says, what is the equation of the line that passes through -4, 5 and has an undefined slope? So all undefined slopes are dealing with vertical lines. So we know it's going to be x equals something. Now if you look over here, what does that ordered pair represent? It represents an x value and a y value. So knowing that it's going to be x equals something, what is my x value equal to? -4. So that means your line is going to be x equals -4. That's your answer for number 4. Now if I go back, not to that one, go back here, what would that line look like? So I would go over here where x is at -1, -2, -3, -4, and I would draw a vertical line. And that vertical line right there, everybody, that's a vertical line where x is always equal to a -4. And what was the ordered pair that it was supposed to be on that graph? -4 and a +5, right? -4 and a +1, 2, 3, 4. So is this point right here on that line? -4 and a 5. It is. This is an undefined slope. This is a 0 slope. Okay? So, front page, totally done. Now, something you guys are going to have some homework to do. Not right now. It's called homework. I want you guys to put all of these graphs in your journal. Okay? Except, one more thing I want you guys to do. For a slope of 0, alright, I always want you guys to put, I'm going to do it, let's pretend this point right here is at 0 and a 2. Let's pretend it's at a 0 and a 2. In your journal you can say, hey, That's going to be y equals a positive 2. So let's pretend right here on this vertical line, let's pretend that this point right here is at a 3 and a 0. So you could say this vertical line is going to be at x equals 3. I'll give you a couple of examples that you could do. So take this information, make sure that you guys write it in your journal. Over here it says key concept slope. Make sure you put the slope formula. You guys see the slope formula? Right here. Here's the formula. You guys should have it. But make sure you guys have this picture. This is called the change in the y over the change in the x. So you call this is called the rise, everybody. And this section right here is called the run. So remember, it was rise over run. I'm going to put right here in words. I'm going to write, this is going to be the rise of the line over the run. So you can write that down. All right. So we're going to move down here, okay? We're going to look at problems 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, this one says, what is the slope of the line that passes through those points? So what formula could you use to find the slope of a line that passes through those points? You could use this formula right here. Well, before you do it, make sure you label it. Label it right now. Label this x1, label this y1, label this x2 and y2. Now I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. For those of you who are falling asleep, hopefully you'll wake up and you'll write this down. And you'll label them. Here's x1 and y1 and x2 and y2. I'm going to write the slope formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Means changing y over changing x. Go ahead and solve that for me on your own. Prove to me, because you're going to be having a quiz soon. So you should be looking at each other. You should be watching the screen right now and writing this down and solving it on your own. Because you're going to have a quiz, and this is what you're going to have to do. So practice it now. If you watch me use the slope formula, you will notice something that I always do with my students. I will set it up. I will do an open set of parentheses minus an open set of parentheses over another open set of parentheses. And then I'm going to label it. I'm going to take some time and label it. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is what my slope will equal. Once I do this, now I'm going to take my numbers and I'm going to plug them in where they go. What number am I going to plug in for my y2? 17. What number am I going to plug in for my y1? Negative 11. What number am I going to plug in for my x2? Negative 9. What number am I going to plug in for my x1? Positive 5. Now, if you do this correctly, if you set this up correctly, then you can actually get the calculator and let the calculator do it for you if you plug things in correctly. But the number one thing I want you guys to be able to do is make sure you know how to organize your information. If you know how to organize your information, then you're actually using the formula correctly. I saw you guys plug things in all over the place. There was no order. There was no systematic way of plugging things in. You just threw numbers on the page and said, is this right? I said, no. So make sure you plug it in this way. Then we will finish it. So go ahead and try it out. All right, now we're going to do it in the calculator, but we're also going to do it by hand. So we're going to do it by hand first. Whenever you see a negative and a negative, what is that? What's going to happen there? It's going to become a positive. This becomes 17 plus 11. This just stays negative 9 minus 5 more. So in the numerator, you get 28. But in the denominator, you get negative 14. And 28 divided by negative 14 is a negative 2. So let's say you're a student that just didn't learn all of their addition and subtraction facts of integers. I'm never going to get this right. This is where you can use the calculator. All right? So we're going to go over here. We're going to hit alpha y equals enter. We're going to go up here. We're going to open up the parentheses. And what was the first number that we plugged in? We plugged in a 17. And then we closed the parentheses, put minus, and we opened parentheses, and we typed in a what? Negative 11. And then we closed it. We went down here, and we opened up the parentheses. What did we type in? Negative 9. We closed it, hit minus, and we open it. What do we plug in? Justify. And when you press enter, look what you get. Negative 2. What did we get when we did it by hand? Negative 2. Okay? So understand, That is one way you can do it. Now, here's another way you could do it. So check this out. Hit the stat button and press enter. Okay? So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to delete those two, and I'm going to delete these two right here. Okay? And what was our ordered pairs that we had on that problem? It was 5 and, right, which one was it? 5 and negative 11? All right, so I put 5, enter, and negative 11, enter. And the other ordered pair was out of what? Negative 9 and a 17. So negative 9 and a 17. So check this out. You can use the graphing calculator as long as you know that L1 represents your x coordinates and L2 represents your y coordinates. So go ahead and type those in. Like, I don't know what you did. Okay. You hit stat and you press enter, and then you type those coordinates in. I'll do it one more time. Hit stat and then enter and type those coordinates in. All right? Go ahead and do that. Get that done, and we'll talk about what the next step is. Now that you have these numbers typed in correctly, okay? What does that represent? The x values. What does that represent? The y values. Hit the stat button right there. One more time. Hit it. Right here. Move to the right where it says calculate. Number 4. Now, everybody go all the way down to where it says calculate. Press enter. Now, it gives you a couple of pieces of information. It gives a couple of pieces of information. That A value represents the M value. What is our M value, our slope, equal to? Negative 2. What is the B value equal to? Negative 1. What does that represent? That represents something known as your y-intercept. This is your slope. Just know that when you're having conversations, it also picks up on the microphone. So right now, all we needed to know in this problem was the slope. That's all we needed to know. All right, one more time. How do we get the slope and the y-intercept? If you hit stat and enter, you got to make sure that these are your x values and these are your y values. Once you have that, you hit stat. Right arrow. You go down to number 4 where it says the linear regression of ax plus b. What does A represent? Slope. B represents the y-intercept. You press number 4. You see that right there? Make sure that's there on the screen. You go all the way down to where it says calculate. And you calculated your slope and you calculated your y-intercept just from 2 points. Okay? You got to plug in the correct coordinates in order for it to work. If you don't plug in the right coordinates, it won't work. So organizing matters. Okay, everybody. This one right here, I want you guys to write above it. This is problem number 2. I want you to write AX plus BY equals C. In your journal, you've done a problem like this. This is called standard form. And something I need you guys to know about standard form is that standard form does not give you the slope implicitly like slope-intercept form does. Remember, slope-intercept form looks like this. Y equals mx plus b, where the m value represents the slope. So what we're going to do in standard form is, when it's like this, we're going to change it from standard form. We're going to change it from standard form to slope-intercept form. So we're going to change it from standard form to slope-intercept form. And how are we going to do this? We're going to solve for a limit. We're going to solve for y. Because what does slope-intercept form start with? It starts with y equals something. So we're going to solve for y. So Leslie, you did a good job solving that very first step. What was the very first step that you did when you were trying to solve for y on your own? Very good. That's what we're going to do. We're going to subtract 5x from this side, and we're going to subtract 5x from this side. Now, can you combine those? Can you combine a 24 and a minus 5x? No, because those aren't like terms. So what do we have left on the left-hand side? We have a negative 12y equals. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that negative 5x, I'm going to bring it up front. us 24. I'm going to move that 24 right there in the back. So go ahead and get that done. Hopefully I'm writing slow enough for you to be able to follow along with me. I can't go much slower than this, so try to catch up. Now, we are almost done with this problem. We're almost done. What are we trying to solve for? Again, we're trying to solve for y. I don't want to know what negative 12y equals to. What do I want to know what equals? Just what? What are we solving for? Because I'm asking you. Yes, we're solving for y. So what did you do? You did the next step correctly too. You did the next step. What's the next step?
You
divide everything by? Yes, negative 12. Divide everything by negative 12. Divide everything by negative 12. Divide everything by negative 12. And then for some reason, you just got stuck. And it's okay. Huh? No, I'm not calling on you. You can be quiet. So right now, what is negative divided by negative? It's a, so good, 5 over 12x. What's 24 divided by negative 12? Negative 2. Now this is your answer in what form? What form are we in now? We're not in standard form anymore. We've left Kansas. We're in Oz now. We're in slope-intercept. Do we now know the slope? What would be the slope if I were to write y equals mx? That's it. You got it. It is 5 over 12. So when I say, what is the slope of this line? You're going to say, the slope distributed is 5 over 12. That's the slope of the line. So what did we have to do on this? We had to solve for y. We had to change it to what form? We had to change it to slope-intercept form, where the slope is the number that's in front of the x value. And we found that number to be 5 over 12. So if you guys would please turn and grab the calculators. Type this in. So you guys know what a 5 over 12 slope looks like. We have y equals. Type in 5 divided by 12 x minus 2. Type it in. 5 divided by 12 x minus 2. Just like that. Type it in. The next thing I want you guys to do, I'm going to hit graph. Don't hit graph. Don't hit graph. But I want you to understand, this line goes way over here, and I'm finishing at a 10, and there's not enough room for this particular graph for me to show you the slope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the window button. I'm going to change my x minimum to negative 4. I'm going to change my x maximum to a 14. Okay? So change my x minimum to a negative 4, my x maximum to a 14. Give us a little bit different view. Okay? So there we go. What I want you guys to do right here is look at this graph. Just look at it with me, okay? So look at it with me right here on the screen. Right here, that's my y-intercept. Right now, I am going to go up 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going up 5 units, and I'm going to go over 12 units until I hit that point right there. The reason why I'm doing this is I really want you guys to see that this right here is called the rise, and this right here is called the run. How far is this sucker running? How long? 12 units. How much is this guy rising? 5. So when you guys see a slope of 5 over 12, I want you to visualize it. I want you to know what 5 over 12 means. It means you go up 5 units and you go over 12 units. That's why I couldn't fit it on the first screen, because it didn't go over 10 units, it went over 12 units. So I had to make my maximum a little bit longer. Where did I put my maximum be? 14. I put my minimum at a negative 4. Knowing that that would definitely fit on the screen. Okay? I want you guys to visualize what slope looks like. You guys realize this is called the steepness. Okay? So what would happen next on this line? It would go from here, it would go up how many units? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what would I have to do? I have to run what? Way over there. And eventually, what would happen to the line? It would eventually continue to go on forever and ever. Keep going up 5 over 12. I realize there's a lot on that problem, but I wanted you guys to understand what a 5 over 12 slope means. Okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and do our last problem of the day. Okay? Number 3. It says the slope of a line these ordered pairs is 1/8. So right now, I want you guys to write M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? Now, what does it say our slope is in this particular case? It says our slope is equal to 1/8. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to say that this right here, everybody, all of this is equal to what's called 1/8. So our change in y over our change in x is equal to 1/8. So 1/8 equals. Now I'm going to put an open parentheses minus an open parentheses over. Now I'm going to label this, right? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now this is where we have to really focus in on our ordered pairs. We're going to label it. That's our x1, that's our y1. This is our x2, and this is our y2 value. So make sure you get everything organized. We're only going to be working right now, we're going to be working with this part right here. Just remember, in this particular case, what is our slope equal to? Our slope is equal to 1/8. Okay? So I'm going to highlight it. Ready? x1 and x2 go here and here. y1 and y2 go here and here. So what is my y2 value? 4. What's my y1 value? W. That's what we're solving for. Let's figure out what W is, okay? What is our x2 value? -10. What's our x1 value? -6. I realize this is kind of tricky, so I'm going to rewrite it. Here we go. We have 1/8 equals 4 minus a W just becomes 4 minus a W. -10 minus a -6. If I say -10 minus a -6, what's going to happen to those negatives? It becomes positive. It becomes -10 plus 6. -10 plus 6 is a -4. So you're going to put a -4 right there. So please go ahead and write that down. Okay, right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cross multiply here. We have a proportion. I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply. Just for a quick review of cross multiplication, just cross products are always equal. So I'm going to say -4 times 1 is -4 equals 8 times 4 minus W is 8 times 4 minus W. And it multiply 8 to both numbers. So I'm going to distribute that. We get -4 equals 32 minus 8W. And now all we have to do now is solve for W. So to solve for W, well, we're not going to actually, you could plus 4 if you wanted to. Go ahead, we'll plus 4. That's okay. Plus 4 from this side, and I have to plus 4 to this side, and you get a total of 36. And that comes to 0. But then I have to do what on both sides? I've got to add a 8W on this side, and add in 8W on this side. So you get 8W equals 36, and now you have to divide both sides by 8. Actually, 36 divided by 8, it becomes a 4.5, which is 9 over 2. Okay. So what is 9 over 2 going to equal? That equals our value for W. Okay. So we're going to show you guys right now. We're going to show you guys how to check this in the graphing calculator really quick. Okay. You guys see where it says -6 and W? So that's going to be -6 and I'm going to put a 4.5. And over here we have what? A -10 and a 4. Now by the way, the decimal equivalent to 1/8 is 0.125. That's a very common decimal. 0.125 is 1/8. So just here's what I'm going to do. We go to Stat. We go Edit. Over here I'm going to type in a -6. Over here I'm going to type in a 4.5. Then I'm going to go back and go -10 and a 4. So I'm going to go over here and type in a -10. And right over here I'm going to type in a 4. Okay? And right now what I'm doing is I'm checking to see if this works. Okay? So now that I'm in my stat editor, I'm going to press stat, right arrow, go down to number 4, press enter all the way down, and I'm going to calculate my slope. What does it say my slope is equal to in my graphing calculator? What's my slope? 0.125. What fraction is 0.125? 1 over 8. What was our slope equal to? 1 over 8. So we know we got it right. Have a good day.